Hi, astronomy students. Thank you for taking my class. That was nice of you. Um, your first backyard astronomy activity is actually kind of a hard one, so it's going to take a little while to explain a couple different videos and show you how your first assignment is going to work. And it's called creating a backyard compass. Say, what? Backyard compass? Yeah, you're going to use your lawn, so you better get permission from mom and dad what part of the lawn you can use. You can see here that I've just kind of got marked off a corner of an unused garden. So you can see I have a garden here and the field's out there. So this is just a little corner of I think it used to be a swimming pool thing. So anyway, so you have to you're going to make a compass and put it on the ground right here. And we'll explain more later. You could say, well, I know what I'll do. I'll just grab a compass and I'll just kind of copy this compass onto my ground. And wrong answer. You can't do that because you know what? A compass is inaccurate. Your compass that points north doesn't really point north, and I will teach you that a little bit later. So here's what you have to do. You are going to use shadows. Shadows are a lot of fun, and shadows are going to be the answer to all of our problems and all of our issues trying to create this backyard compass. So you have to kind of pick a day when the sun is shining and you can actually have shadows. And it's going to take you like a week or two to do this, so start early. So you can see right now the sun is out and I've got shadows. I've got sticks here and I've got shadows. Well, what am I doing? Here's the deal. First thing is you have to find noon, true noon. So you can say, oh, I know how to find noon. I'll just look on my watch. Well, guess what? Wrong answer. The watch is not correct because we live on time zones and standard time, and so what is noon on the watch may not be real noon to us or to you in your location. Especially now that we're on daylight savings time, you're at least an hour off. So how do you find noon? You find noon by trying to find when the sun is at its highest point in the sky. Well, how are you going to do that? By watching the shadows. And here's how you do it. You put a stick right in the middle of where your backyard compass is going to be. So this stick right here is my center point, right? And then around, I don't know, 11:30, 12 o'clock, you watch the shadow of the stick, and at one point in time, in fact, this stick right here is my first shadow, and it says on here, I wrote it on here, 12:15. So at 12:15, the sun was over here creating a shadow, and the end, this is important, the end of the shadow was right there. So I stuck a stick in the ground and wrote 12:15. And you should really do this every 15 or 20 minutes, but I know what mine is. So then I waited, and this stick here says 1 o'clock. So at 1 o'clock, I came out, looked at the shadow, I stuck the stick in the ground at the end of the shadow. And so that's this stick right here. And then I waited a little while and came back, and this one says 1:25. So at 1:25, the shadow was now here, and I stuck the stick in the ground. Then I came back, and this says 2:05, and this one's way out here. So I've got these sticks representing the shadows at different times. Then you just look at them and say, which shadow is the shortest? Which stick is closest? And it turns out it's this one right here. I didn't bring a tape measure with me, but this one right here, 1 o'clock. So at 1 o'clock, the sun must have been at its highest point, which gave the shortest shadow. So from this stick to this stick, guess what? That represents, well, I said that, let me go back a minute. So what I just did is I found noon. I found noon for Cedarville, New York, because I live in Cedarville, New York. So noon turns out to be 1 o'clock. You say, well, gee, that's almost right at 12 o'clock if you weren't on daylight saving time. I know, but that's because I live right in the middle of the time zone. But chances are you don't live in the middle of a time zone, and we'll talk about that in class. Okay, so now I know that this is noon. Well, guess what? At noon, the sun is directly south. So that means the shadow that created to this stick is directly north. So these two sticks represent a north-south orientation. So all I gotta do is find something straight, and I got this board right here. Now I'm just gonna take this board and lay it down like this, right alongside my two sticks. So what this board is now representing is a perfect, not a compass, a perfect north-south orientation. That would be straight north, and that end there would be straight south. Now all I gotta do is put my markers down for the center of my compass, and I can mark north and south, and that will be for my next video. Thank you. Okay, this is on, we're phase 2 now. You know, we did the sun thing, we found out where true north is, so then the easy part is just kind of laying the blocks. So I just happen to have these blocks, so they're kind of heavy and they're kind of big, but so I'm just going to use these for my lawn compass. By the way, I'm making mine, you know, right about the same time you guys are making yours. So I just use these things, and so I just use the shadows that we did on our first phase, and then I painted on them. So you can look over here and see my my west. So obviously I got my little west thing here, but here's my issue. This is kind of sort of temporary because you got my garden here that we're trying to turn back into a lawn or a field, and so I put these in here, but ultimately I'm going to dig a hole and sink these, point over here, I'm going to sink these right down to within about a ½ an inch of the surface. So ultimately they're going to be down in the ground and be a real long compass. It'll be there forever. So then you can look over here, I got my north right here, and it's facing north, and got my east over here, and I didn't have my weed eater today, so it wasn't going to be cleaned up, but here's my east. So anyway, this is kind of easy. Now hopefully you're going to make yours kind of permanent, and I'm going to ultimately make mine permanent, and I'll show you a picture and talk to you about it in class when I get mine permanent. And then you can see the middle part, I just kind of used 3 of them. I just kind of put 3, and Jacob here, out of the way.
Jacob.
So mine are right here. Oh, he's okay. So anyway, I can't wait until September 22nd, and I'm going to stand here, and we're going to learn about this, I think, in week 2 or 3, but I'm going to stand here, and the sun should come up directly east, and it should cast a shadow on the west block. And so hopefully the true test is going to be on September 22nd. And oh, by the way, just to be on the safe side, you know what I did? I downloaded that little Compass app, and then I paid $1.50 to get the Compass Pro app. And so you can feel free to do that. Use a little electronic gadget to make sure that you've got your north, south, east, and west.
Yay.
Perfect. So your long compass is right. Okay? All right, that's it. Have fun doing this. You got 2 weeks to do it, so get started right away. All right, over and out. Bye.